Hello, everyone, and welcome to Career Day. Career Day is an initiative by Thokozane. We believe that information empowers people. Our professional this week is Thokozane Dyosini, a university lecturer, children's book author, and entrepreneur. Thokozane will be talking us through her journey on how she became a lecturer, her various projects that she's working on, and interests. If you like this video, remember to hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on our amazing series. Remember to share with your friends, as this could be helpful to them as well.
Hi loves, my name is Thokozane Dyosini. I'm 30 years old. I'm so excited to talk more about what I do and who I am. I'm a born and bred girl from South Africa. I was born in Soweto and I'm currently living in the north of Johannesburg and working in Pretoria. And I'm currently working as a lecturer for one of the biggest universities for open distance learning on the continent of Africa. I honestly think that being a teacher is one of the most important professions in the world, as we are the profession that births everything that comes into the world. Your lawyers, your doctors, your accountants, your teachers, everybody has to have had one teacher that was influential or that taught them something to get them where they are. I went to a high school in the south of Johannesburg. It's in Winchester Hills, to be specific. It's called Sir John Adamson High School. It is a co-ed high school. Some of the subjects that I took were English, mathematics, life sciences, accounting, and business studies. And in that, I had always envisioned that I'd take the BCom marketing stream. So that was my reasoning behind taking the English and the accounting and business. However, if I have to think about it now, these subjects were actually very instrumental in me becoming a teacher because I got to understand education on different levels. So there's a financial literacy aspect to it with taking accounting. The business studies part of it has actually been very influential to me now, being a postgraduate student and also an entrepreneur, in understanding, the reasoning behind becoming an entrepreneur and how to be successful in that. I would say that those subjects were very influential, especially English as well. I had a phenomenal English teacher. It also just gave me the confidence to pursue academia because I could read really well and I understood reading with comprehension was very important, and that was something that stuck with me throughout my academic career, and it still shows now in everything that I do, even as a lecturer now at a university who teaches other student teachers how to teach, which is, an incredible honor for me, such a privilege. I think it's also important to know that the subjects that you take in high school don't always stem into what you're going to do. For instance, I'm not numerically inclined. I'm not the greatest person with numbers, but taking mathematics somewhat helped me because it gave me the foundations that I needed to know. My story of how I became a teacher is actually a very interesting one. I'm going to be honest, I didn't want to be a teacher initially. When I finished my matric, I had applied to do a degree in marketing, and I just didn't get in for the marketing degree that I wanted to do, the BCom marketing, because I didn't have enough APA points. And because my score was so low, I had to choose my second option, which was to do teaching. This was something that was suggested by my uncle. He said, do something in humanities that you can do for a year, and then you can later transfer into the course you actually want to study. This is going to sound a bit weird, but first year was the best 2 years of my life. I failed my major and one of the core subjects that I needed to pass first year. And that's why I had to then redo those subjects in order to progress to the next year. I don't think I'd fully grasped the type of intellectual capacity that being at university needed. The most important thing that I missed was that you actually have to be present for your studies. You have to show up for your lectures, you need to consult with your lecturers and do everything that is expected of you. It was very difficult for me, especially because I came from a school that wasn't as affluent as most schools, so that adjustment from high school to university was also very tough. What I had learned in my second year when I redid some of the first year subjects that I had failed. When I redid those subjects, I came to the understanding that I actually have to put in the work. And that was very important and key to building my work ethic and also just taking responsibility. Failure is one of those things that propels you to where you need to be. It's difficult when you don't understand that not everything's going to work out the way you expected. You actually have to just let life play out as it's supposed to so that you can learn the lessons that you need to learn. So when I found out about becoming a teacher, I thought, you know what, this seems like a reasonable degree to study. And lo and behold, after the first teaching experience, when I was in school as a student teacher, I loved it so much. I was just a natural with the children. I understood the content. I knew how to teach. And a lot of that just really inspired me to stay in the profession. When I matriculated from Sudan, I went to Wits University. Wits University was close to home for me. Growing up, we didn't have a lot of money, so going somewhere where I needed more financial aid to cover my accommodation wasn't an option because my mom wouldn't be able to afford it as she was a single parent. I studied my bachelor in education, my honors in language and literacy, my master's in language and literacy, and now my doctorate in educational leadership and management. This has been phenomenal for me because it helped me understand that graduating in record time isn't always the goal for everybody. Being a cum laude student is not always the goal for everybody. I was a pretty average student who just worked very hard and had a great work ethic, and I just didn't give up. I kept giving myself the benefit of the doubt and trying harder, trying again, and doing whatever it took to be successful in my chosen career. It's important to just decide what you want to do it, and then see how you can diversify your career portfolio with what you have. When I say diversify your career portfolio, I mean that studying a bachelor in education has now afforded me the opportunity to become a published author and write children's books. It's also afforded me the opportunity to work on research that helps and develops and upskills teachers in rural areas, as well as working on projects where I can furnish libraries with books for schools that are less privileged. I currently work as a lecturer at the University of South Africa. I am in the early childhood development department, and I really love the work that we do there. We do a lot of research, we do a lot of teaching and learning and growing, and it's very different to the institution that I come from because it was a face-to-face institution. Now with COVID and everything being fully online, we're really being immersed into the world of technology, ICT, and understanding how to be good and efficient and effective in what we're doing, even if it is online. I think another important thing for us to note about my career is that what I do now is very multifaceted, in the sense that I'm not just a teacher or just a lecturer, but I also have other endeavors. I run a company with my business partner where we do a lot of educational consulting and creating resources to solve educational problems and challenges within the education sector. And this is something that I'm truly passionate about because it gives me room to grow. A day in the life of Thokozane. In the morning, I wake up and the first thing I do is, I'm going to be honest, it changes from day to day. Some days I wake up and I do my devotions and I pray. Some days I wake up and I check my phone. Some days I wake up and I'm in a hurry and I just take a shower and I get the day started. I open my laptop and I check my emails for the day, my meetings for the day. I write down a to-do list. Managing your time correctly and knowing where to put your efforts and your energies is very important, just so that you don't only disappoint yourself or other people with whatever needs to be done. After I have checked off some things on my to-do list, I make myself some breakfast, I have a nice cup of tea, and then I'll go on to check off things on my to-do list. That's my morning pretty much. In the afternoons, I usually also create content for my social media, depending on what it is on my to-do list for that day or for that week and what I need to do in terms of deliverables, especially now because I just started working with brands. So we have a lot of deadlines and we have to schedule things for a certain time or a certain day, and it would require me to work with other people. So we set meetings and we work around everybody's availability, which is really so much fun, especially creating content for my children's novel, Corey in the Universe. Teaching is one of those careers that can take you anywhere, literally, in the world, in your area of expertise. You know, you, depending on what it is that you teach, you can become a lecturer, you can become an academic, you can become a principal, anything really, a research specialist. My dream ultimately is to just change education for our children so that they have more access and they have better chances of succeeding, especially the black child, because there's so many obstacles in our way in trying to get to where we need to be in terms of having our goals and dreams realized in whatever way that may be. I honestly like so many things about my career. I love the flexibility of time management, especially now with COVID. We don't really have to be at the office, so I can work from home or anywhere in the world, really, as long as I get what I need to do done and I'm in my meetings and meeting my expectations and my requirements for work. I'm always happy with however I do that. I also love that my research is research intensive because I am an academic at heart. I love to research, I love to read, I love to work on new information and see how that can grow my career and steer it in the direction that I want it to go. I think one of the things that I do not like about my career is the fact that students can contact me personally. I don't enjoy it when they are emailing me much, especially when it's around exam time or they didn't do well in their tests, exams, assignments, and things like that. And they can be very, very rude. And as a professional, it's very difficult to manage all of that and still keep your morale and your well-being, you know, your emotional well-being at an all-time high and be positive and respond in respect and, you know, being professional, because sometimes they're very, very mean to you. And at the end of the day, I'm just a human being. I also don't want to be spoken to any old way, as I wouldn't treat others that way. My profession is, I have to be honest, the higher you go, the more money you can earn. A starting salary for a teacher versus a lecturer is very different depending on the qualifications, the years of experience. So I can't really speak to that because it's so vast. It can range between 20,000 Rand a month all the way to 40,000 Rand a month in your early years, depending on your expertise, the institution. Also, bearing in mind that some institutions are known for being financially competitive. So you have to really do your research and find out which institution pays the best for whatever it is that you specialize in, and you should get your CV there. In closing, I think it's so important to note that you're always going to get the destiny that God has for you. Whatever it is that is in your heart, it's been placed there for a reason, and I feel that it's important for you to always stay ready. There's a saying that says, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So cultivate everything that needs you to be on the path of getting to your dream and your goal. It's important to also note that you have to be ready for what you pray for and what you manifest and what you want in your life. So for instance, if you want to become successful, you need to affirm that in your life and tell yourself every day, I'm successful, I'm smart, I'm intelligent, I'm hardworking, I have a great work ethic, I wake up every day and I do something that I love, it has meaning, I do purpose work. And these are important things to know and speak over your life, because the power of the tongue is so important. Don't speak down on yourself and don't look down on yourself. Also, remember that every storm runs out of rain. You might be the last one to graduate out of all your circle of friends, like I was. You might have to repeat a year, like I did. You might not graduate in record time, just like me. But at the end of the day, you'll always get to your destiny and be the person that you were meant to be. This was so much fun. I hope it was inspirational and aspirational for anyone who listened to it and it resonated with you on a new and different level. Wishing you all the best in your career. Choosing the career that you want is the most important thing you'll ever do. And also remember that dreams change. You're allowed to change your goals. You're allowed to change your dream. Failure isn't going to keep you back from being whatever it is that you want to be. So never give up. Strive to be the best in everything that you are and everything that you do. And know that there's somebody out there who's looking at you and so proud of all the work that you're doing. On that note, I'd like to say goodbye and God bless, and I hope that you have an amazing time.